Good afternoon. My name is Kurt Berg, and I'm the STEM Magnet Coordinator. I would like to welcome the Verdugo Hills High School STEM Magnet class of 2024 and their families to our first ever new student meet and greet webinar. The COVID-19 pandemic has created many challenges. We have to work differently, shop differently, teach differently, and learn differently. Since we are a STEM magnet, we feel more confident than most in our use of technology. That said, it is still a learning process even for us. Please bear with us if we encounter any technical difficulties during this presentation. This meeting is a webinar, which means that all participants will be muted for the duration of our presentation. Nonetheless, we encourage you to ask questions. On the lower bar of your Zoom window, you will find a box that is labeled chat. If you click on it, it will bring up a chat window where you can type in your questions. One of our teachers will be monitoring the window, and we will be pausing periodically throughout our presentation to take your questions. We will also have an extended question and answer form for 10 minutes at the close of our presentation. For most of the meeting today, I will be sharing my screen with you. What I've brought up here is the Verdugo Hills High School website. I would invite you all to make yourself familiar with it. On our website, you will see a series of tabs across the top, and one of them says Class of 2024 Online Orientation. Let me click on it. In this tab, this is one-stop shopping for our new students. Since you're unable, unfortunately, to visit our school currently for a tour, we're going to bring our school to you with a series of videos over the next few months that will show you different aspects of Verdugo Hills High School and what life at Verdugo Hills High School is like. We'll also be putting up important information in regards to enrollment. We'll be putting up a recording of this meeting as well as the slides. So this is your one-stop shopping site for information about our school before we are able to eventually bring students back. Let's start out with a video that we've made. This video includes a welcome message from our principal, Arturo Barcenas, and our senior class president, or I'm sorry, our student body president, Ashley Romero.
Hello, and welcome to Verdugo Hills High School. My name is Arturo Barcenas, and I am the principal of Verdugo Hills. Over the next few months, we will be creating a series of videos and hosting a series of meetings as an informative to our newest dons, the class of 2024. These videos and meetings will review our academic programs, athletics and arts programs, our school faculty and staff, and many student activities. We hope you find these sessions informative and invite you to our school website as a resource for more information. We understand that starting a new school year and a new school can be stressful, but we hope that over the next few months, these videos and meetings will ease the stress on our students and families. If you have any questions, I invite you to contact our faculty and staff via email so that we may provide you the answers that you need. Thank you for taking the time to attend our virtual meetings. And again, welcome to Verdugo Hills High School. Go Dons!
Hi, my name is Ashley Romero, and I am the current student body president. Coming in my freshman year, I knew absolutely no one, but thanks to everyone being very welcoming and all the activities that are offered on campus, it was very easy for me to feel a part of the school. Verdugo does offer a wide range of sports and clubs, so I'm sure you'll find what you love here. If the club that you want isn't offered, you can very easily create it. Verdugo is an overall diverse and welcoming campus.
I'd like to take this moment to give our teachers who are in attendance the opportunity to introduce themselves. I introduced myself earlier. My name is Kurt Berg. I'm the STEM Magnet Coordinator, but I'm not just the coordinator. I'm also a social studies teacher here at Verdugo Hills High School. And next up would be our counselor, Ms. Chavez.
Good afternoon, I'm Diane Chavez, and I'm going to be your child's counselor over the next 4 years. Thank you for coming.
Hi, I'm Tammy Ravel. I'm the athletic director, and I teach math and STEM.
Dr. Norton?
Hi, I'm Dr. Norton. I teach English for ninth grade STEM, and I also teach the AP English.
Miss Lewis?
Hi, I'm Miss Lewis. I teach math. Hello, everyone. Happy Mother's Day.
And Mr. Yip?
Hi, my name is Kevin Yip, and I teach digital imaging.
And Mr. Ramstead?
I'm Mr. Ramstead. I teach math and computer science.
And Mr. Warren?
Dave Warren. I teach physics, biology, and AP biology.
Miss Mendez?
Hi, I'm Miss Mendez, and I teach. Hi, I'm Miss Mendez, and I teach biology, chemistry, and forensic science.
And we have our administrators with us as well today. Ms. Davtian?
Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to the Dawn family. I'm Miss Daftian. So good to see everyone. Thank you for being here.
And Miss Gabriel? Miss Gabriel still with us?
Hi, everyone. So glad that you could join us today for this little webinar. We look forward to meeting you face to face very, very soon.
And Mr. Barsonas?
Hey, welcome STEM class of 2024. We're extremely excited to have you here. Look forward to today.
We also have 4 students who've joined us. They'll be part of this presentation, and they'll also be here to answer some questions if you have questions and you'd like to know a student perspective. Our students are Lorenzo, Amanda, Caitlin, and Isaac, and I'm going to give them the opportunity to introduce themselves.
Hey everyone, my name is Lorenzo. Oh, Isaac, do you want to go first?
No, go ahead, Lorenzo.
Okay, sorry. My name is Lorenzo. I'm a senior, and I'm the treasurer for the STEM Magnet Leadership Club, and then I'm also the president of Finance Club and Young Americans for Freedom chapter at Verdugo.
Hi, my name is Amanda Luceriga. I am a senior. I am the current president of the STEM Leadership Club. I'm also heavily involved in the Visual and Performing Arts Magnet.
Hi, my name is Katie Garmendia, and I'm the publicist of STEM Leadership, publicist of junior class, and journalism staff writer, and president and founder of Verdugo's very first animal club.
Hello, my name is Isaac Venegas. I'm a junior in the STEM Magnet. I'm the current vice president of the STEM Leadership Club. I'm also president of the Cyber Patriot Club, and I'm a founder of the Robotics Club.
And Lorenzo and Amanda will be graduating this year. Why don't you share where you're going to be going off to school next fall?
I will be attending CSUN to major in business administration.
And then I'm going to the Marshall School of Business at USC.
Thank you so much. I'm going to go back to sharing my screen, and we'll be looking at our presentation. Okay, just some housekeeping. Most of you probably know this, but I think it's nice to go over our school, what our theme is, and also what it means to be a magnet program. STEM is science, technology, engineering, mathematics, and we're unique because we have an additional M, multimedia. We've been around for 20 years. For much of that time, we were a multimedia magnet, and we still offer courses that are related to this part of our theme. And you'll learn more about them as we go through our presentation today. We've been a STEM magnet for 3 years now, and we are always adding more classes to flesh out our theme. We've had a strong science and math program for many years. We currently are in the process of building a computer science pathway, and we are looking at bringing engineering in through the community college, hopefully this year or next. What does it mean to be a magnet? Well, a magnet is a themed school within LAUSD that's open to all students, regardless of neighborhood. That said, many of you may be coming to us from various far-flung parts of Los Angeles and coming up to us on a bus. It's about 25% of our students commute in. There are many different themes. Here at Verdugo, we have a visual and performing arts magnet as well. And because we're a small school, you can be a student who is into STEM and into visual and performing arts as well. The electives in our VAPA magnet are open up to our STEM students as well. There are also specialized magnets like gifted magnets that students need to test to get into. We are not specifically a gifted magnet, though 50% of our students are identified as gifted, and we certainly pride ourselves on the rigor of our academic program. What does it mean to be in a magnet? Not just our magnet, but any magnet. It means that throughout the course of the school year, students must take a minimum of 50% of their courses within the magnet. We have 8 periods, so that would be 4 courses over the course of the year. Magnet classes must have at least 75% magnet students in them. And magnet classes next year, at least as planned, are capped at 35 students. My screen's not advancing. Technical difficulties. Okay. What are our Verdugo Hills High School STEM magnet requirements and expectations? We expect our students to take 4 years of math, and we'll talk about that later on. That means 4 math courses. It doesn't mean necessarily over the course of 4 years. We expect our students to take 3 years of science. Those can be our honors courses or their advanced placement equivalent. We expect our students to take at least 2 STEM elective courses, and some of these electives are AP courses as well. And we expect our students to take their first advanced placement class in 9th grade. We don't absolutely require it, but we believe that this is the best way to get our students prepared for AP classes in their 10th, 11th, and 12th grade year. It's a smart move. Students learn rigor and really how to look at a college textbook. What are these AP classes? Most of you may know, some of you may not. They are college level courses that are offered to high school students. The curriculum is a college curriculum. The textbooks, insofar as there is one, are college textbooks as well. The AP program is administered by the College Board that also is responsible for the SAT test. All students in AP courses have the option of taking an AP exam that are administered in May of every year. If students pass these tests, and the tests are graded on a 5-point scale, if they receive a 3, 4, or 5, they may be eligible for college credit at most UCs and Cal State schools and some private schools. Some schools require the 4 or 5, others are 3, 4, or 5. It's dependent on the school, and it's also dependent on the major. When you hear in the news that students, your typical applicant who's accepted to UCLA has like a 4.2 or a 4.3 GPA or higher, the reason being is that those students have taken AP classes in high school. AP courses are awarded an extra grade point. So if you get an A in an AP class, that's a 5.0, not a 4.0. You'll learn more about our 4x4 schedule shortly, but most AP courses at our school are scheduled for the entire year. Just to go over our schedule for those who aren't familiar, Verdugo Hills High School is one of the few schools in LAUSD that has a unique schedule known as a 4x4 schedule. What this means is that each semester, students take only 4 classes. The classes are typically 88 minutes long. And a class that started, for example, in August, like a geometry class that our 9th graders take, it's done in December. And a student would advance to the next level of math in the spring, either Algebra 1 or Algebra 2 for most of our students. The day is interesting insofar as there is less classes. Students maybe cover something more intensely, but they don't have as many courses that they have to study for and as many competing interests going on. What does this mean for our students? It means that they have more time to prepare for the AP exams, at a typical 6-period a day school, they have that 50-minute period for the duration of the year. Our students have an 88-minute period for the duration of the year, which simply just means more time that we can focus on preparation. Students have the opportunity, and many of our students in the STEM Magnet do, of taking 6 years of math, because you can double up. You can take more electives because students earn 80 credits each year rather than 60 with a 6-period day. Athletics are built into the 4-period day, which means that the practices in the afternoon typically would last later into the day because they start early. The sports are worked into the 88-minute period. It also means that when students have to participate in an away game, there is less disruption. They're not going to have to leave their 4th or 5th period class like they would have to do in a traditional scheduled school. The additional credits also mean that students have a lot of opportunities. They can potentially graduate early. Most of our students don't take that option because they want to take the AP courses in their senior year. It also means that students have the opportunity to take college courses. And we have a partnership with Mission College, and Mission College will typically offer 1 or 2 courses on our campus during 4th period. And the students get to double dip. They get both college units and high school credits for those courses. And I'm going to pass over to Ms. Chavez. But before we go to her, do we have any questions?
There are no questions at this time in the chat.
Okay, thank you. So Ms. Chavez, our counselor, this is her part.
Hello. Thank you, Kurt. Okay, covering the A through G requirements. As you are in high school, you are going to be required to complete certain classes in certain subject areas. And some of those classes have to be taken during a certain year. So for example, you'll be taking world history in 10th grade and you'll be taking US history in 11th grade. So just keep that in mind, that certain classes have to be taken during certain years. But you are required to take 3 years of a social science and 4 years of English. Next slide. Oh, and when you get into 11th grade, you actually have options of taking AP English or AP Literature at this time. Also, as Mr. Berg mentioned at the beginning of the meeting, as a STEM student, we do expect that you take 4 years of math. However, the LAUSD requirement to graduate with a diploma is that you complete 3 years of math, which includes Algebra 2. And most students in our STEM magnet, they do take pre-calculus, most do, and others also move on to take AP Calculus and or AP Statistics. Some colleges also will grant AP Computer Science A as a year of math, and we could talk more about that as we move on through your course planning in high school. We also require that you take 2 years of a science. 1 year has to be a biological science and the other year has to be a physical science. And so as a STEM magnet student, we do expect 3 years. And again, most of our students do meet that expectation. They do complete 3 years of science. And as a magnet student, we offer our magnet students honors level bio, honors level physics, and honors level chem, in addition to AP courses in those same subject areas. And if you end up taking an AP Computer Science Principles class, which is offered to you as a 9th grader, if you do choose to take that class, colleges, most colleges will recognize that class as a 3rd year of science. Language other than English, we also refer to this as LOT, or foreign language. You are required to take 2 years in the same language. So some students, every now and then, they ask me, they might start off with Spanish and they say, you know what, I did a year of Spanish, I changed my mind, I want to do French. Can that complete my requirement? And unfortunately, no, you have to take 2 years in the same language. Visual performing art, You do have to complete 1 year. And as a magnet, we have developed 2 different courses to fulfill that requirement. One of them is digital imaging and the other is digital imaging production, which you'll hear a little bit more about later in this presentation. And your college prep elective, most students do fulfill this requirement through either taking an AP course, okay? And a lot of the students that are in 10th grade right now that are taking the AP seminar class, for example, that would fulfill a college prep elective. So usually this isn't something you have to worry about. It's just a class that you will eventually fulfill through either taking an AP course or another advanced course. Last but not least, these are the other LA Unified requirements to complete your high school diploma. You are required to take health. That's a semester course. You are also required to complete a service learning activity, project, report, and that actually at Verdugo Hills High School, the US history teachers will provide you with an activity or a project so that you can fulfill that requirement. 2 years of PE. So many of our students, including our STEM students, fulfill this requirement through their sport or marching band or JROTC, or you could just take regular PE, totally fine. And then by the time you are done with your 12th grade year, you also have to have earned 210 credits, which because of our unique schedule and because of your ability to earn 80 credits per year, it's not a problem. Most of our students never have a problem fulfilling this requirement. There are other academic opportunities. As Mr. Berg mentioned, we do have a relationship with community colleges, specifically LA Mission, because they do come on campus and they currently teach courses on our campus where our current 11th and 12th graders are able to take college classes and not have to go to community college. They could take it in the comfort of their Verdugo Hills High School classroom. Health class, many of our students do not have the opportunity to complete their health class during the school year, maybe because they're taking AP classes. They're also an athlete. And so sometimes it makes it very difficult for them to squeeze this semester class in. There is an online public charter school where you can take your health class online. We have provided the website for you. And if you have any questions about that, you can email me directly, but what I will say is that they are very good about answering questions if you go onto their website. Many colleges also offer summer programs for high school students, and we do encourage that. So for example, if you've always wanted to be a doctor and you really want to gain an edge in your college applications, UCLA offers summer programs for high school students. Many colleges offer programs for high school students that have a specific interest in certain areas. Also, San Luis Obispo offers a program as well for students interested in engineering. Other things to consider for your course planning. So college admissions can be very competitive. I think maybe sometimes when you're in middle school, sometimes you might hear, oh, you know, when you're in 9th grade, you could kind of like, you know, mess up. That's not true because your ranking really has an impact on whether or not you get into college. So for example, the UCs, UCLA, UC Irvine, okay, they usually have a formula where they take the top 10% of the students at public high schools. And your GPA affects your ranking. And for your ranking, your 9th grade grades all the way through your 11th grade, in fact, up until the middle of your 12th grade year, affects your ranking. So please, please keep that in mind, okay? You really need to remember that your ranking will affect your enrollment at a UC or your admissions. Typical ninth grade schedule. So this is for a student that, for example, selected as their AP selection. They selected AP Computer Science Principles. In the fall, they would have that class first period, and their second period course might be geometry, and their third period course might be English. And then maybe they have either a sport, fourth period, or an elective. And then in the spring, they would continue with that class because, as Mr. Berg said, AP classes are almost always a year-long class. So you would continue with that class in the spring. And then you would take either Algebra 1 or Algebra 2. And then your biology class or a foreign language. And then again, you could either take an elective fourth period or continue with your sport or band or other elective. So you might be wondering, now that you aren't able to meet with us, how will we know what you want to take when you come to Verdugo? So what we've done is we've created a survey that will either be, that's going to be emailed to you and or your parent, so that you can click on that link and you can complete the survey, okay? And you can let us know what your course selections are. And I want to mention also, I will email you directly a link to a YouTube video where I'm going to actually cover the preference sheet for you. It's a 15-minute video, and I would recommend you watch it before you complete your survey. Next slide. I'm also going to be hosting 2 Zoom meetings. One is going to be held next Friday at 3 p.m. and the other is going to be held on Monday the 18th at 5 p.m. for any students or their parents that have more questions about course selections for next year. And I would just say, you can email me before then, but it might be really helpful for you if you just maybe jot down your questions. If I don't answer them today during this meeting, jot down your questions, and if you can, try to attend one of those Zoom meetings so that we can cover that, because there are students that have similar questions, and it'd be a lot more, I think, beneficial for your student to ask those questions during one of those meetings if you're able to attend. And then, of course, your counselors, all of our counselors here at Verdugo are around to help you if you need to talk about something, if you want to help another student, and more also to discuss your path, your course planning, and then your plans for college or beyond high school.
Did we have any questions?
There are a lot of questions in the chat regarding online health. Could you please go over how they go about doing health online and when they would do that?
Yeah, so it's totally fine for our students to, attend their first year of high school, and then after their 9th grade year, they can complete that course during that summer or even the following summer. We do have some students that enter before they enter their 9th grade. They want to complete that course before they start high school. At this time, since it's really hard for us to meet with students, it might be something they want to reconsider and just postpone till next summer. But if they do want to look at the methodschool.org website, they can, and they would see that they are offering health this summer.
And then there was another question about if all grade levels can take college courses for concurrent enrollment.
So concurrent enrollment, all students have to get approval from their high school counselor before they take a college course. So a lot of our students, our STEM students in particular, I shouldn't say a lot, I'd say maybe I have about 5 to 7% in 9th grade and in 10th grade that come to me and want to take a college course while they're enrolled at Verdugo. I don't just sign the form right away. I have to look at their grades and see how they perform in class before I can say, yeah, you know what, this student can handle a college course. So we do have students that in 9th and 10th grade, they want to try, you know, a college class at their neighborhood community college. And before I approve that, I usually always check their performance in their other classes to see if it's something they can handle. And then to add to that, when they get into 11th and 12th grade, at this time, they're able to enroll in a class that we offer on our Verdugo campus, which is offered by a college.
All right, that's it for now.
Electives. Mr. Ramstad.
That's me. Hi again. I'm Mr. Ramstad. So we are offering four different computer science courses at Verdugo starting next year. The first 3 are available to 9th grade students. And you see I have a little bit of information about computer science. Computing jobs in general, ones that involve computing in any way, including computer programming and design and electrical engineering, are the #1 source of new wages in the United States. So I'm sure we all would agree it's an important aspect of any student's education. I think Mr. Berg, maybe you could correct me if I'm wrong. I think most of our students take at least one of these courses the past year or 2 now.
Yes, a lot of our incoming freshmen have taken the equivalent of exploring computer science.
Yeah. So our first course we offer is the Exploring Computer Science course. This course is very similar to a computer science course you may have already taken in middle school. So this is the course we recommend for students that haven't taken computer science before or just have a little bit of interest and want to see what it's all about. It is a 1 semester course at Verdugo. And then we have 2 AP courses, both of which are available to our 9th grade students. Our AP Computer Science Principles course, taught by myself, and our AP Computer Science A Java programming course taught by our other teacher, Dr. Van Ball. If you can go to the next slide, Mr. Berg. So our Exploring Computer Science course, like I was saying, is our introductory course. It is taught by Dr. Van Ball. It covers a broad range of topics, as you can see there, from the basics of computer hardware and software and the internet to binary and algorithms and programming and HTML and CSS and a bit of robotics. And I think our students' favorite activity in that course is our e-textiles, stitching the loop, where our students get to stitch computers into fabric and make some pretty cool smart clothing and other things. If you can go to the next one, Mr. Berg. And then the course I teach, AP Computer Science Principles. This is another broad course where it doesn't just focus on programming. We talk about extensively how the internet is designed and how it works at a fundamental level, how information is encoded and represented in binary, and then we move on to how do we program in JavaScript and how do we design our programming. This course, being an AP course, does conclude with an AP exam, like most AP courses. However, it also includes a performance task project that will be submitted alongside the exam as well. And as Mr. Berg said, a lot of our 9th graders choose this as their first AP course. Yeah. Like I said, we do have 2 other computer science courses. We have AP Computer Science A. That is a Java programming course. That course solely focuses on programming conventions and good programming skills. It was traditionally looked at as like a computer science 101 course at most colleges. And then starting next year, we're also going to have a course called C# Advanced Game Design and Development that will be available to our students, not in their 9th grade year, but after they've taken one of our AP courses. It'll be available to them, where our students will learn how to use and produce games using the Unity game engine. So, thank you. If you have any questions, let me know in the chat, and I'll answer them for you.
Mr. Yip.
Hi, my name is Mr. Yip, and I teach 2 of the digital imaging classes. I teach digital imaging production, and I teach digital imaging 1AB. So if you enjoy technology and art, so these would be fun and challenging classes to sign up for. I used to teach traditional art, so I like to kind of introduce traditional art concepts with digital concepts. Students will do drawings on paper and on the computer using a Wacom stylus. So if you don't know what that is, so I have one right here. And this would be the tool that you're going to be using, okay? So it should be pretty exciting. You don't really have to be, you don't have to have any drawing experience or computer experience. So this is pretty good for 9th graders. So these would be loaned out to students for class use and also at home. We will focus on techniques and fundamentals. Projects will be done on paper and software drawing tools. So students will learn how to kind of control their lines, get into 2D illustrations, and then 3D form. So this class is a good stepping stone to digital imaging 1AB. So, and that's what I'm going to be talking about next. Next. So digital imaging 1AB, it's an introduction to Photoshop class. Okay, so it kind of piggybacks to digital imaging production. So if you don't know what Photoshop is, it is a software that a lot of companies and universities use. So the class starts by getting students kind of comfortable in front of the computer. I then kind of introduce Photoshop and its user interface. So the class slowly kind of start exploring some of the tools and its capabilities within Photoshop. We kind of get into illustration, design, and kind of like different ways to kind of control the images. After the first term, the class transitions to interactive media. Students will kind of continue with Photoshop to kind of create custom elements to be used in their animation. Students will get into some kind of lingual scripting, which is a form of coding. So I hope to kind of see some of you in my classes. All right, thank you, Mr. Berg.
Thank you, Mr. Yip. Ms. Mendez.
Hi, how are you? I teach honors biology and honors chemistry, and I'm teaching honors introduction to forensic science. In this class is very hands-on. We do labs about 3 times a week. We do have cases in which we try to analyze crime scenes. We do blood spatter, fingerprinting, fibers, glass, document and ink, firearms or ballistics, and then we do drug and toxicology. We do blood genetics, or we also do DNA analysis, and we study the different bones. So that would be our anthropology. Mainly it's a little bit lecture, but mainly hands-on. We do have like scenarios of cases. We also use Rice University has this simulation program that's based on the show CSI, and so we do use that also in our class. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Mendez. Mr. Henry.
Hi, I'm Kevin Peterson Henry. I teach for 9th grade 2 AP classes, AP Human Geography and AP European History. And the goal here is your college success. The goal here is to get you started on a path where you can be successful in high-level classes in high school and throughout college. The 9th grade courses are designed to kind of start you with a college-ready program. They lead into AP courses in 10th grade and beyond. One of the things you'll see in the middle of the slide is the AP Capstone program, which I participate in. One of the courses in 10th grade AP seminar leads to that. You can earn something called the AP Capstone Diploma, which is a special diploma, high school diploma, that can lead you to be someone that colleges really want. So these 9th grade courses are one period, one class period, but 2 AP courses, and they're designed for anyone who wants to get started in a program that's going to get you ready to succeed in college. The focus really is skills, critical thinking, and problem solving. So one thing I did is on this slide is kind of put up examples of things that my students this year would likely know. And you would be able in this class to tell a story of what's going on in these visuals you see on the slide, how it relates to the course and also the world around you. And so that's kind of the skill building, problem solving that we do in class. And again, the focus is getting you ready to get to the college you want to go to, but also be really successful when you get there. And I'm going to hang around here if you have any questions about the AP program that I can answer any questions. I also coach girls basketball, so if you have questions about that, I can answer those also. Thanks.
Hello, Mr. Berg.
Yes.
Hi, this is Miss Lewis again, your math teacher. We have an extraordinary and brilliant math program here at Verdugo Hills High School. As you can see on the slide or on the screen, we offer a math pathway that provides all of our students the opportunity to finish all the fundamental math classes during the first 2 years of their high school life. After that, they are given an opportunity to embark on the AP classes. We offer 2 AP math classes here at Verdugo, very different from most schools that only offer 1 AP math class. And this is all doable with our very special bell schedule. I'd like to ask one of our students to explain how that worked for him. Lorenzo?
Sure. And also, thank you, Ms. Lewis, for everything you've done the last 4 years for me. Teacher Appreciation Week.
Thank you.
So I actually took 5 of my math classes with Ms. Lewis, and I did all 6 of the available math classes and took AP Calculus BC. And I definitely wasn't the student who was good at math. I was actually really bad, and I got a C in Algebra 1. But Ms. Lewis inspired me to do better, and I made sure I had her with every math class, and each one I took, I got better and better, and I just would never see myself take AP Calculus, let alone BC Calculus and AP Stats. So it definitely allows you to, maximize, 6 math classes within 4 years. And also, if you fail Algebra 1 or Algebra 2 one semester, you get the other semester to retake it rather than waiting a whole year and setting you back a whole year. So it also helps you if you fail one class. But that's my experience.
Thank you, Lorenzo.
Thank you, Lorenzo.
Ms. Ravel.
Hi. So I'm the athletic director. I also teach math in the STEM magnet. For sports, I know there were a lot of questions regarding tryouts and what we're going to do. And honestly, at this time, I don't have any answers regarding sports. So this is sports as we have known it. This is sports. These are the sports that we offer. Sports are split up into 3 seasons: fall, winter, and spring. And in order to be on a sport, you usually need to try out for that sport. And so you don't just get to say, hey, I want to be on the volleyball team, and then you're on. How that's going to work for this year, I don't have answers for that. But all of our coaches can be reached via the website. There's a whole tab full of athletics information that you can do. I also run 2 social media accounts. The Twitter is more informational things that you guys can get. The Snapchat's just more for fun when I'm actually at a game or whatever, I'm Snapchatting those. But the Twitter is the one you're going to want to follow. You do need to have a 2.0 GPA. more than 50% of our students do play a sport, and they play sports year round. It's important that you're doing well in your 8th grade classes right now, because your GPA does count, and it will make you eligible or ineligible for sports in the 9th grade. So really important to look at. But like I said, if you look over there, we run the gamut of sports, and for boys and for girls. If you have any questions, you can find me on the school website, or you can hit me up on Twitter, whichever way you need to go.
Thank you, Ms. Ravel. Each year, we do a summer bridge program, which is an orientation, a hands-on orientation for our 9th grade students. It takes place the week before school actually starts. So the Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday of the week before the first day of school. We don't know what's going to happen this year. Hopefully, we'll be able to do this on campus in person. If not, we will find a way to do it virtually. But some of the things we cover are leadership, technology, academics, and school culture. What's also great is that during this summer bridge program, students are able to get all of their textbooks for their classes in the fall. They get their picture taken, they get their school ID as well. So it takes care of a lot of stuff that we don't have to take care of after the first day of school with all of the disruptions associated with it. As magnet coordinator, I will be sending you information about Summer Bridge when we know what's happening and when we get closer to the dates. At this point, Ms. Ravel, we've covered a lot. Were there questions?
There are a couple, a lot of questions just regarding the what ifs and the unknowns that we really don't have plans for right now, about where students would get computers, if the courses are available, like some of the elective courses are available online, like digitally, like how we would transfer those over. So there are questions regarding that, if you wanted to address that.
Yeah, I would say that we just don't know what the response is to that when students are matriculating from one school to another school. You know, the students coming to us from other middle schools already have technology from those schools, but presumably it would have to be turned in at the end of the school year, and we've received no additional instruction. We will do what we have to do to deliver instruction, however we are mandated to do it. And that is not something that we can determine ourselves. That's being determined by our governor, by healthcare, public health care professionals, and so forth. Now, a presentation from our students. So Isaac and Lorenzo.
Actually, Mr. Berg, before we go on, if I can just address enrollment for our non-LAUSD families. I know there's been a few questions. LAUSD is in the process of developing a platform so that you can remotely submit your application. Please rest assured, I know that our STEM program is very competitive. Your seat is secured, so you're definitely guaranteed a spot in the program. You are a STEM Don. We just need you to please be patient, and Mr. Berg will be emailing out a link to the portal, hopefully over the next few weeks. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Soptian. Lorenzo and Isaac.
Yes, I was muted, sorry. So Mr. Berg was talking about our magnet fluidity, and what that basically means is that you're not locked into one pathway. So you can be in the STEM magnet, but you can also you know, participate in a school play, or you can take an art class. And all the magnets are usually mixed in with many of your classes. So you'll have people from VAPA and Academy also in your class. And with that comes the AP classroom experience. And what I've found, and what I think many AP students will agree with, is that students typically tend to be more motivated in those classes, as well as the teachers, because they want us to get a 5 on the AP exam. We want to get a 5 on the AP exam. So we're all just working together towards a common goal. And I think that's what makes AP classes really fun and really different from a regular class. And so I would definitely recommend that you take as many AP classes as you can, just because it's a whole different experience. And with that, the teachers are really great. Many of them with us today teach AP classes, and I've had many of them, and I've just built some great relationships with them. They're really great people. So just the whole AP class experience is amazing. And also, a lot of the students in the AP classes are from the STEM magnet, so you'll make a lot of friends through the AP class within the STEM magnet. Isaac?
Thank you, Lorenzo. To continue off what Lorenzo was saying, I have similar experiences with AP classes. I think it's a real benefit for a lot of the students. As for myself, in my freshman year, I came outside of the district, so I really knew no one in the STEM magnet. But with the AP classes, I was able to find students that had similar perspective and motivation in school, which kind of is how I started at least making some friends. Another aspect of the STEM magnet that I really like is that a lot of the STEM students have the opportunity and first access to many of the field trips. Due to Mr. Berg's relationships with the Los Angeles World Affairs Council, we have been able to go to many events where there are keynote speakers that are professionals in their field. One of these events was the Peterson Automotive Museum, which was holding the conference on the future automobile, where we were able to hear the lead designer of Tesla speak. We've also had the opportunity to go visit many colleges. Some of the colleges are Caltech, Cal Poly Pomona, Loyola Marymount, and Occidental College. And also with Mr. Henry's connections with UCLA, we were able to go to visit UCLA to attend and experience their Rome lab there.
Thank you, Isaac. Ms. Lewis.
Next slide, please. Thank you, Mr. Berg, and thank you, Lorenzo, and thank you, Isaac. This is one of the fantastic perks of STEM here at Verdugo. Because experiential learning is inherent in a STEM program, we at Verdugo aim to bring the world into our classrooms. So much so that we want to bring our students out to the world. So this is one of the things that we've come up with is international travel. We want to take our kids out in the world to places where they can experience history. Next slide, please. So our itinerary includes countries. Pretty much the freshmen would experience this in Mr. Henry's class, Human Geography and European History. So now it's time to actually be out there and experiencing the world. And we also visit, next slide please, sustainable communities and the biosphere in order to experience science. Next slide, please. Typically, the travel time would be after the school year. Our school year ends in June, and we should be back to celebrate our national holiday, 4th of July. Of course, travel right now is not in everybody's mind, but here at Verdugo, we believe in preparation and we look forward to the opening of the world again. It takes us about a year or 2 years to prepare for one trip. Now, just to let everybody know, this is a travel, which is of course not part of your LAUSD free tuition. So we do have to save up for it. It is done through a third-party private enterprise. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Lewis. And Amanda and Katie.
Hi, I'm Katie. I'm going to be talking about my personal experience in STEM leadership. So, at first I was a little scared to join STEM leadership because I thought you had to be some type of prodigy, but I just took the risk and asked Mr. Berg if I can join anyways. He and the club welcomed me with open arms, and not only did I make new friends here, but being in this environment helped me to work harder academically and be more involved in school. As publicist, I started our very first media accounts for our STEM magnet, and being a part of leadership has allowed me to be a part of the decision-making process. And that includes ideas for trips, recruiting events, and fundraisers. And we're actually in need of 2 freshman representatives, so if you're interested, join our STEM magnet. Now it's Amanda.
Hi, so I'm Amanda. STEM leadership is a club in which You can earn 5th period credit as well as plan social events and help lead school tours. So I may have even seen some of you when I was giving you a tour of the campus. I believe that this club provides an access point for students to make a lasting difference in their community. And I say this because Verdugo really is a community. Just to give you some background, my grandfather was the first person in my family to attend Verdugo Hills, and he graduated, walked the stage in 1970. So 50 years later, here I am now, also graduating from Verdugo Hills High School. So I do believe that Verdugo is very, very heavily family oriented. A lot of the students have access to learning how to create bonds with each other and internet. And I'm sorry, I can't I can't speak properly today. Sorry, guys. But yes, if you get a chance to join any club at Verdugo, I would suggest joining this one. Thank you.
Thank you, Amanda. And we can open it up to our question form at this point.
So questions were about the trip, or is it open to all students?
It is open to all students, not just STEM Magnet students. One of the teachers who's also sponsoring and planning to go on it is our music teacher, one of our music teachers, Miss Lopez.
Questions about where to find clubs?
Who would like to address that one? I mean, I can start. Oh.
Was it about clubs?
Yeah, well, let me say this. The website that we're creating for you as the one-stop shopping for incoming students has a tab on student life that has a listing of our clubs. We're updating it. It's not comprehensive at this point. And then we have a tradition in the first month of school of having something called the Aloha Assembly, which is an assembly where we bring all of our students together and every single club does a presentation, and then, and then we have a club rush activity afterwards. All of the clubs have booths and you can learn more about them.
Ms. Doftian, there's a question about dress code.
So yes, again, the website that Mr. Berg just mentioned has our dress code on there. You can visit it, but it's pretty basic. Come appropriately dressed for school.
Opportunities, field trips to colleges.
As a STEM magnet, we do them twice a year. And we try to choose colleges that are not the ones that students know about right off the top of their head. We haven't gone to UCLA. Instead, we visited Cal Poly Pomona, Occidental College, which is a private college right down the hill, and Eagle Rock that Barack Obama went to for his first 2 years of college, Loyola Marymount. We've done a visit to Caltech as well. So we are always seeking new colleges to visit each spring and fall.
Actually, I would also add, Mr. Berg, that just students know for each one of our back to school nights and open houses, we consistently have an integrated college fair. So as part of visiting classrooms, our college counselor usually brings between 28 and 30 colleges from the area and outside of the area to provide information to our students.
I would also add that we participate in an AP readiness program. Students who are enrolled in our AP classes are invited to UCLA. It's usually once a month. One weekend they will do STEM AP courses, another weekend they'll do humanities like history courses. And so students participating in this, and it's entirely free, including transportation, they have the opportunity to see the UCLA campus. If they're in a science AP class, they have the opportunity to actually use science labs there.
I'd also like to jump in. This is Dr. Norton. We have an amazing benefit on our campus called College Bound. And it is through the Boys and Girls Club of Burbank. And they create and do all of the logistics to send students on tour buses and go on college tours. So as Mr. Berg said, we have 2 really amazing college fairs that come into our hallways each year, but then our students also have the opportunity to get onto these buses and go see other colleges. So there are multiple possibilities.
And I think that's it in the chat right now, unless anybody has anything else they're going to come in with. I think we've answered.
Lorenzo would like to share something that he's learned about Verdugo Hills High School and being involved.
Yes, I always give my get involved speech. Okay, so high school is a new place where you can recreate yourself. It doesn't matter, you know, what reputation you had in middle school. You get to create your own. You have these next 4 years to create your own memorable high school experience, and the best way to do that is to get involved. And I know Mr. Barcenas always says this. I think at orientation, you have to get involved if you want to have an amazing high school experience. And through that, you join clubs, you join a sport if you're interested in sports, or you attend, you know, the school events and activities like homecoming or the football games, the basketball games. These 3 things are amazing because not only are you exploring your different passions or, you know, having fun playing a sport that you love to do, or, you know, meeting new people at different school events, it's about building friendships, and building friendships in high school is what's going to help you get through classes. There's many studies made that those who have a great support system around them, whether if they're in, you know, the more you're involved with school, the better you tend to do in your class. And that's because you feel tied to the school community. You feel a part of Verdugo. And the students who may not feel like that sometimes, if you ask them, you know, what did you do in high school? They're typically going to say, well, you know, I never did a sport or a club. That's why you have to do it. And if there isn't a club that interests you, you can start it. And that looks great, that you start something at Verdugo and you can leave a legacy. So those 3 things, joining a club or starting a club, joining a sport, or attending as many school events as you can, those 3 things will combine to make, you know, your most memorable high school experience. So I highly encourage that you do that.
Thank you, Lorenzo.
And that's it on the chat as far as questions. They wanted to know about how they can still meet with their counselor or how they get in touch with their counselor. So Ms. Chavez.
Yes, so as I mentioned earlier, if you would, please keep an eye out for the link. I did do a video to cover your preference sheet for course selections. So please look out for that email so that you could review that video. Also, next Friday, May 15th, and on Monday, May 18th at 5 o'clock. The 15th, it'll be at 3 o'clock. I'm going to be hosting an hour-long Zoom session for parents or students to drop in and ask questions specifically about course selections during that time. So if you could wait for those meetings, the one on May 15th and the one on May 18th, to ask your question, that would be great. If you absolutely can't wait, you're more than welcome to email me.
I would add that I'm here to answer any questions for you. You can email me or you can call me. I've set up a Google Voice since I can't be in the office at school. It goes right to my, my cell phone, and I'm happy to take any calls during a reasonable hour. If we have no other questions, then I want to just thank everybody for coming to our webinar today. I hope that we have given you the information that you need to take the next step in choosing classes for next year. Visit our school website and there will be videos on there that will tell you more about our program. And as those appear, I will send out links to you to all of the emails that I have from my magnet roster, which are parent emails. And we have student emails now as well, so we, for the most part, so we'll send them out directly to you too. if that's it, then I'm going to go ahead and close the meeting. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Thank you for participating.
Bye.
Bye. Thank you. Go Dons.
Go Downs.